sister and I, he was meant to pick us up at that morning, and we sit on the porch and wait for him all day. And when I say all day, I mean sitting on the porch all day, he would never show up. And then we say, right, next car's gonna be down. Next car's gonna be down. We do that all parents with my feelings. I would sort of mother my mother with, joy and bring her up and all that kind of stuff. So when I met George, I could tell from the moment I met him that he was lovely and kind, and I could trust him with my feelings, that he wouldn't hurt my feelings. He has never hurt my feelings, never. And my mother said to me, you're too goddamn sensitive. I was 5 years old at the time. 5. She also said, you reminisce too much. And I was 5. 5 years of reminiscing. But, it was insight into her, because years later, as an adult, I learned that she was actually trying to warn me to not do what she did. And I was very telling about that she was too sensitive and that she reminisced too much. So, and that didn't really, I only got that probably 10 years ago. And I'm like, that's what that was. So anyway, George was so open and it was, and I never forgot that, because it just,
but now when you look back on him saying that, it's kind of makes you feel when you're such a saying that.
Not only be inside me, but he wants to be. That record I have never it was a signal to the child who was in fact, we split up when we got children. It's still good, it's times today, and I can't get back together again.
I was thinking about because it's a very breaking up with someone that you then end up with is rare. I feel like just going back to what you said, it's so inspiring to see, like, the trauma you went through and the partners you would choose that were replicating what you watched with your mother and father, and finding George. It's interesting to see, like, even though you just spoke and you got calmer, it's not more still, you can be yourself. Like, in what ways when you started to engage in healthy relationships, how long did it take you to actually trust in yourself? Sometimes people think, like, bro, I fucking hope to God one day get to where you're at. Like, how long did it actually take you to met him to be like, trust? Don't bring up my old shit. Like, don't put on him what I've done in other relationships. Like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, no, and look, trust me, the beast still came out, in our relationship and my distrust, but soon enough, you put me at ease, and, it takes time. And, even the time that we were apart, we don't realize that there's no one like more, and the chance of me meeting somebody, I felt that comfortable enough, and then it's myself, it's very rare, very rare. I've got all the choices in the world. You look back, and go, there were very few situations where people had all their shit together. Not shit together and bank accounts and all that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. But real life about themselves to not hurt you and project their own hurt out at you, which is I think what my parents did, and I can forgive them now. There's a book called Toxic Parents that really helped me out by Dr. Susan Forward that really walked me through the steps of overcoming the trauma of my parents.
I think it's also incredible because sometimes, like, we run away with some things that make us feel good, depending on, again, the trauma of, like, this can't be this good. And I think the story is so clear that, like, although you were both so many things that you want to talk about with addiction, like, you knew at the core how you felt around this human being, and that is something that lasts forever. How someone makes you feel, you never take that. And you did break that. Can we talk about that just a little bit? Like, how did you decide, because it was mainly you, right, that did decide that we need to put this on pause?
Well, it was because what happened was we had this condo in Florida in Miami that George was redoing, and I learned that he had been addicted to crystal meth, which is the devil. So I put him into rehab and then brought him to TULSA programs, and I went with him to support him in his TULSA program, only to realize this was for me. I need this. And I realized too that I was living my fame and fortune through George, vicariously through George. So I realized that if I am living through him, and he's in this much trouble, that's how much trouble I'm in.
Living your fame through George. What do you mean by that?
Well, at 5, when I dissociated and separated, became a camera on a jib, I realized I had not come back into my body. So because it was not safe, it didn't feel comfortable for me to feel my feelings firsthand. I could feel my feelings through him. We'd be flying to Düsseldorf on his private jet, and he'd be, this is great. So I'd be happy because I informed him, this is great. But I could not feel my feelings firsthand.
Right, you're like looking through the outside validation of like, what is going on here? Like, oh, this is great, right? This is great.
And it wasn't until I got sober that I started to find my feelings in my parents and through my own lives.
But when you looked at him and you recognized he was addicted to crystal meth, that is also when you said, I also have an addiction.
Oh, yeah. I started smoking weed
Do you remember when you tried your first meth?
Yes, I was probably 14, and actually Red Devils, and I took the Red Devils pill. I don't know all about it, but what was it like? I don't know if it was an upper or a down. I still do not remember, but I do remember but I was afraid of this. I never shot up or anything, but but also I didn't have any money, so I was at the mercy of whoever. And then in my 20s, I dropped acid throughout my 20s. Every weekend I poured acid every weekend. Have you ever dropped acid?
Never. What does this feel like?
Well, I'll tell you. Listen, you're an adult.
Don't do that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's incredible because it was the proof I had that this world is an illusion. That everything you think you know about solid objects subjects or what people are is a lie. And I had that suspicion before. When I dropped acid, it was like people who freak out, and I, some people who freak out, they're like, oh my God. This is and from the day I was born, I thought, there's no way. Yeah. It lifts the veil of the illusion, the fantasy that we're all collectively agreed to in our lives. I was downtown in my 20s, but I didn't get world famous until I was 32, and I had that confidence. I was just believing her. And then in my late 30s, a little bit of but really incredible. So I would never, I would be stoned. I was always Hey, look at this line item. It's one of our biggest ads. Hundreds of millions of dollars to run this one facility. I was always pointed out. I was always singled out. People said, here's something different. I didn't know the connotation. I didn't know that was sex. It didn't have the sex. I thought, oh, okay, at 5 years old. So, but my point is that I always felt singled out that there was something going on with me, and I had to learn to accept that. So, does it feel any different from back then? No, it doesn't. So, I have a purpose that I can live is part of it.
Because I just am curious, because knowing that a lot of performers, I think, are introverts that stage when they're performing. Like, I know a lot of musicians that are like, oh my God, bitch, when I get on back stage, it's complete alter ego. Like, that's not me. I go home, I'm like in my PJs and makeup off, and I'm supposed to become like that persona. But do you ever have moments, or have you ever had a moment where you presented the persona you built?
No, because I really don't know. And that is
How did you date?
It's like a really good compliment that the facade that we're talking about break through that. And so, not really to be taken seriously. That's why. This is a whole other this part. You know, in this business, if you get 7 years, great. But for me to have the opportunity to have another fight with the outcome, because I got my shit together, is amazing. So that's a whole other story. So, you know, ending it at the end of the sober felt like the natural place.
I feel like from what I've read and looked up, like you and George are pretty like notoriously private people together in your relationship. Like, how did you decide when you were talking about you were going to write about these like pretty intimate pieces of your life?
I don't Hey, we got some seats set aside for George to meet with. You can go to that. No, only pop stars are.
Did, but I don't actually care who was in the room.
He knows who she is. He would care. Let's see.
What do you care about?
He loves Aretha Franklin because she's dead. I think in 1995, he went with me to Detroit to perform at Aretha Franklin's birthday party. And came in with a check plate that she had written for my payment. And this is why I went on stage. And the check was written out to Ruth Hall. Signed Aretha Franklin, Ruth Hall. I wanted to, but thank God George was there with me, so he could see it. So that it wasn't like this train was on the floor. Read it out to Ruth Hall, but starstruck by starstruck. He needs it. Like I'm trying to gain perspective. He is more starstruck by animals, and he knows the name of every flower, and he knows the name of every animal, like what they are. Every flower. So he and children grab it. He's that.
I don't give a fuck about celebrities.
Don't get me wrong, is Lisa? I am very proud. I'm most proud of the contestants who come through there who are so lovely and so to allow their stories to be told and to share their stories of courage with people around the world.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about
Oh, I don't know. You know, I stopped trying to figure out what people think and try to make their people think what other people think. People are crazy. Yeah.
The episode title, People,
Yourself from that. You never say that they changes their mind or you really people think that you is none of my business. When you put yourself in that, it leaves so much room for your own frequency to resonate and transmit through you. Because that kind of thinking of what
Amina.
there's no time. And you know, when I hit 30, the biggest lesson about me is pure believers. I don't have to like everything. Everybody doesn't have to like me.
I want it. Yeah.
TV?
Yeah.
There you go.
For those who love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. And if you had X-ray eyes and see where that bitch in Kansas was, that bitch is in a basement without fake with internet, but in a basement. Their mother's basement. So you are that whatever life you want, you are with whatever the source is. I mean, some people say God, some people say whatever. Whatever you choose to be the source, you are the creator. That's a lot of truth.
Say shit. Different